Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I'm Ken, and today guys I wanted to talk about 5 4K titles that released in the year of 2019. So I did this a few weeks back with the year 2018. I just reminisced on some 4K releases that were actually released in the year of 2018. I kind of just talked about them briefly, my memories with them, gave you all price points as to what they are now. So I'm gonna, do the same thing here, but I'm gonna do it with 4Ks that came out in 2019. I like to reminisce, guys. What do you want me to say? We're always talking about new stuff. We're always talking about, it's just a constant flood these days of new 4Ks and Blu-rays and just stuff's coming at us all the time. And we kind of lose track of what came out before. We forget about it. We put it on the shelf, we watch it once, and we just forget about it. So I wanna talk about some titles. I like pulling some titles off the shelf and just kind of talking about my memories with them. But look, before we get into it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We talk about physical media here on this channel, 4Ks, Blu-rays, owning the movies that you love, all that stuff there behind me every single day on this channel. So if you like that kind of thing, hit the subscribe button and then comment down below what were some of your favorite 4Ks that were released in 2019. And if you got any comments on the ones that I'm getting ready to show, let me know what those are as well in the comment section below. So if you didn't check out my one from 2018 that I did a few weeks ago, definitely go check that out. I will link that up above somewhere. But let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. We're going to start off in January. We're going to start on January the 1st of 2019. This was the first big 4K title that came out in the month of January. And I was very excited to get this one physically because I saw it in the theaters in 2018 and just freaking loved this movie. And that is Bad Times at the El Royale with that nice slipcover. That is a clean ass looking slipcover. I love the slipcover. It's got the orange on the side right there. And this is a 20th Century Fox title right here. So this is before the Disney takeover of Fox. There's a good chance if Disney owned Fox at this point in time, we wouldn't have gotten Bad Times at the El Royale at all on physical media. It just would have been lost in film history because I think this movie only made like $7 million at the box office or something. It was not very successful, but really great movie, really great cast in this film. Drew Goddard wrote and directed this, and if you don't know who that is, he also did Cabin in the Woods, which is more of a horror movie. This is not really a horror movie. This is more along the lines of like an action thriller kind of mystery type of movie. So it's kind of completely different in tone than Cabin in the Woods is, but it's so freaking good. You got Chris Hemsworth in this movie. Jeff Bridges gives one of my favorite Jeff Bridges performances. Dakota Johnson's in this film. Cynthia Erivo, John Hamm. It's just a freaking killer cast. You got Bill Pullman's son, Lewis Pullman, in this movie. He was also in Top Gun Maverick. Great cast, but I love Drew Goddard as a director. Like, he's 2 for 2 for me, and I haven't really heard anything about him and what he's going to direct next. So hopefully we get an announcement on something pretty soon. But just a really cool movie. It's kind of mostly set in one location in this hotel that's like split between 2 states. Like, it's kind of like a gimmick hotel. Like, one side is one state and the other side is another state. So you kind of have that set up. But it goes into some wild directions. Like, it's been a little bit since I've seen the movie, so I don't remember everything about it, but it's a really good movie, really great performances, really great soundtrack. Like, the soundtrack in this movie is just phenomenal. Like, so many great songs on the soundtrack. I remember listening to that for like weeks after this movie came out. So really cool movie. Looks freaking awesome on 4K. Like, this is a movie that's just very visually pleasing. Lots of colors, lots of neon lights and stuff throughout the hotel. It's at night, and just a lot of great visuals in this movie, and it looks spectacular on 4K. So highly recommend Bad Times at the El Royale. And you can get this right now, guys, for $18.99. Now, you're not going to get this crispy slipcover right here, probably, but you can get this movie on 4K for $18.99. I wish somebody would re-release this as like a steelbook or something. I know it's not Lionsgate, but I would love like a Lionsgate style steelbook with a Bad Times at the El Royale. That would be freaking killer. But yeah, great movie, great movie. I highly recommend it. Jeff Bridges is so good in this movie. Bad Times at the El Royale. Let's go ahead and jump into my next pick. I feel like this movie always seems to spark like some controversy, but when I saw this in the theater, I freaking loved it. Just loved it. Now, Admittedly, I've watched it at home a few times. It's kind of dropped a little bit in quality for me, but there was nothing like the theatrical experience of seeing Bohemian Rhapsody in the theater. So I have the 4K Steelbook of this movie. Not the best Steelbook, but I was such a big fan of this movie. This is one that I double dipped on when it came out. I got this Steelbook, and then I got the Target Blu-ray edition right here. I'll show that off real quick. So not a 4K, but I got the Target edition. Still have this one wrapped up. I've never taken this out of the plastic because I bought the 4K, but this is one that to me, like, it just looks stunning on 4K at home when I watched it, and the sound, it has Dolby Atmos. And if you haven't seen this movie, like, the Live Aid concert sequence at the end is the real centerpiece of this film. And at home with the Dolby Atmos, like, my God, it's like you are there in concert listening to Queen. Like, everything, the whole Queen like soundtrack is in this film. Like, all the greatest hits of Queen is in this movie. I know some people will criticize it. They'll say it's just a Queen music video and that's all it's good for. I really like it. I think Rami Malek gives a really good performance as Freddie Mercury. Again, I get the criticism. I love Rocket Man too. A lot of people say Rocket Man's a lot better. I love Rocket Man. I love this movie. I love music biopics just in general. I'm just kind of a sucker for them. I know it doesn't dive as deep as it probably should have because the band members were kind of, you know, I think they were like producers on the movie or something. They were involved in the movie in some way. And usually when you have that happen, it doesn't go as deep and as dark as you might like it. Because a lot of these bands and musicians from back in the day, they just have a very troubled history, to say the least. So it's a good movie though. I remember getting choked up in the theater. Like, it was just, and such a powerful like experience, that concert at the end. I absolutely loved it. And it looks fantastic on 4K. Like, it just looks phenomenal. So Bohemian Rhapsody, I would recommend getting it on 4K, and you can get it right now, guys, for $13.99. So not a bad price at all for that 4K. And there's several of these on this list that are pretty daggone cheap right now. So let's go ahead and get into my next pick. And we're doing 5, guys. We're doing 5. I don't know if I mentioned that in the opening, but it'll definitely be on the thumbnail. My next pick came out on March the 26th of 2019, and this is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations of all time, and that is Pet Sematary. Came out on 4K on March the 26th of 2019, and this was pretty significant for me because this is really where the channel kind of started. Like, I did my first ever Blu-ray hunt getting this and getting Aquaman on 4K at Target. Like, if you look back on my channel, my first ever Blu-ray hunt was me holding both of those movies in front of the Target, and that was my thumbnail. So, but that out of the way, that's just kind of, I like to talk about my memories with these movies. Just a great 4K experience. Like, this looked so damn good on 4K. Like, I grew up watching this all the time on VHS, later on DVD. I never owned it on Blu-ray though. I'd never owned it on Blu-ray. So the 4K, I basically jumped from DVD to 4K with this one. And my God, I had never seen this movie like this before. And I worry because it's a horror movie. Sometimes with the horror movies, you worry, like, is it going to take away from it? You know, the kind of crystal clear picture quality. Is it going to take away from the scariness, the griminess of this film? It did not. It was, if anything, it was more scary with that, and you could just see everything in the cemetery at night. All that stuff looked great. Zelda in 4K is the thing of nightmares. It'll send shivers and chills down your spine. If you've never seen this movie and you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the video game, guys, okay? I'm talking about Zelda in Pet Sematary. It's one of the scariest, freakiest things you will ever see in any movie. But yeah, looks phenomenal on 4K. The sound is great as well. Highly recommend. Pet Sematary on 4K is the only way to watch this horror movie going forward. I also got the Steelbook. I had to double dip and get the Steelbook. Again, this is just one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So they had a 4K Steelbook as well. Freaking awesome stuff. And yeah, Pet Sematary, that's a banger, guys. You can get that for $19.30. That's the most expensive 4K on my list. So let's go ahead and get it. We got 2 more, guys. We got 2 more to get into, and this next one's a banger. We got 2 bangers left. We have got on April the 23rd, this 4K came out, and everybody's anxiously awaiting the sequel to this movie on 4K, and who the hell knows if we're gonna get it, because 20th Century Fox did this, and I'm talking about Alien on 4K, one of the classic sci-fi horror films, just one of the greatest movies of all time. Like Alien on 4K, like this was a dream come true when this came out. I remember getting this and watching it, and it was just like, oh my God, that alien, that xenomorph in 4K with the drool and stuff and the acid spit just kind of drooling down his face, and Sigourney Weaver in her underwear. It all looked fantastic, but the effects, the set design in this movie, like all that stuff, the fact that you could see it so much more clear now with the 4K picture quality, like that was the real standout for me, because just incredible set design. This movie was made in 1979. It's over 40 years old by now. Just the fact that they could do that kind of stuff and build these sets and make them look so realistic, so futuristic, is just incredible. So all that stuff looked phenomenal with the 4K transfer. So yeah, Alien on 4K is an absolute banger. Look at that slipcover, guys. Look at that. I just remember getting this, and this was pretty cheap when it came out. I think it was only like $17.99. Like Fox used to charge, like their prices were pretty comparable back in the day, I feel like, to what Lionsgate is now. Like Fox was not charging out the butt. Like if Disney put this out on 4K because they own Fox now, it would have been like 30 bucks. But when Fox put this out, it was $17.99 for Alien on 4K. But I absolutely love this slipcover. I don't know if this got a steelbook to go along with it or not, but I didn't get it. But yeah, Alien is an absolute banger. Highly recommend it. You can get it right now for $13.99, so it's not a bad price at all right now currently to get Alien on 4K. Now let's get into the last banger on the list, the last 4K that you need to check out. This is a must-own, guys. This is probably, honestly, God, it's got to be one of the best 4Ks that I've got in my entire collection. Like, I was so blown away when I saw this movie on 4K. This is a Martin Scorsese film. That is right, guys. Came out on September the 10th of 2019, and that is Casino on 4K. What an incredible, like, Universal did this 4K. This is one of the best Universal 4Ks that I've ever seen. Like, I watched this, and at the time I was getting into Arrow Video. I was watching a lot of Arrow videos. I think I watched this one a little bit later, like 2021. I was watching a lot of the Arrow Video 4Ks. Sorry, that almost fell out. I was watching a lot of the Arrow Video 4Ks, a lot of the boutique stuff, and those 4Ks were just blowing me away. They were doing such a great job with those. I watched this and I was like, this is like boutique level quality 4K transfer right here. So good. Like, I just remember Robert De Niro's red suit and the contrast to the casino background. All that stuff just looks incredible. Like, I'm telling you straight up, and I'm not lying to you guys, I would never lie to you about a 4K transfer. Never. At least to the best of my ability, I will not lie to you about a 4K transfer. I'm telling you right now, I watched this. Looks so good. Took my breath away watching Casino on 4K. Just one of the best looking 4K transfers. And I love this movie. Like, I know there's always a debate between Goodfellas and Casino, which 90s Scorsese gangster drama is the best. I'll still lean towards Goodfellas, but if you're going to go with the 4K transfer, which one's the best, it's by far Casino. I don't know what happened with Universal and Goodfellas. Like, why is that not to the level that Casino is? I have no idea, but Casino, like, if you're thinking Goodfellas sucks, the 4K sucks of Goodfellas, I'm not going to get Casino because Universal probably botched that one too. You're wrong. They did a great job with Casino. Hopefully they'll redo Goodfellas at a certain point, but such a good movie. Joe Pesci in this movie. Like, I don't know, I go back and forth so many times. Raging Bull, like Pesci and De Niro are so great in that together. Then you got this, then you got Goodfellas, but I don't know, like Pesci is just, he's a monster in this movie. He is an absolute animal in Casino. I absolutely love his performance in this movie. Sharon Stone is great in this as well, but just a phenomenal movie. And I'm telling you guys right now, I swear everything. I swear this entire collection, may God strike down my collection tomorrow if I am wrong on this. This is one of the best 4K transfers I have ever seen in my life. It looks so damn good. So highly recommend that you own this. And here's the kicker, guys. It's only $13.99. It's very cheap to get Casino on 4K. I found this at a Walmart like 2 years after it came out. I think it was either 2020 or 2021 that I bought this, and it was only like $11.99, I think. It was very cheap when I found this with the slipcover at the Walmart. Back when you could actually find 4Ks and steelbooks at Walmart back in the day, at least my Walmart. Those were the good old days, guys. And Scream Factory titles as well. But we're getting off on a whole different tangent there. Casino is a must-own, $13.99. Definitely check that one out. So that's my 5 recommendations of 4K releases that came out in the year of 2019. Let me know what some of your favorites were from that year in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, turn on those bell notifications, and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.